Okay, and we're back. After 8 rounds of best of 3, what are the standings looking like so far? Seaward and Ultimate tied for first with 1 loss apiece. Ultimate beating Seaward, though. Beyond that, let's see. Who has 5 wins? Famine has 5 wins. And that's it. Famine is the Famine is technically in 2nd or 3rd, depending on how you treat. Why, hello there, General Kenobi. You are a bold one. I actually can't remember how he sounds. I know he's got a cough because he's he's more cyborg than human. Pretty cool, though. Pojo, how is it going? It's been a while, but I'm glad you're here. Oh, that's interesting. But, yeah, so we got Seaward and Ultimates sitting in first place, both with 7 wins. And then Famine following behind them with 5 wins. And then we get into a little bit of a mess because so many people have 4 wins and 4 losses. Let's take a look here. There's Gil. Old Gil! Shockwave. No, not Clothesline. Justicia, Sakamoto, Chi, and Dodge all have 4 wins and 4 losses. Oh, boy. I'm doing alright. I started the stream early today. Jeez, I started the stream over 5 hours ago. Wow. Also, I forgot to start recording as well, so I am actually going to have to go back and download the stream, the VOD. Yeah, sorry laughing, I forgot to add that command, but whoops. That's okay. I can download the VOD and it'll be just the same. In fact, it'll actually be better if I download the VOD because I can actually trim it the way I want it to be. And then I don't have to worry about downloading a video editing software. So maybe this worked out for the best. Maybe it did. Anyways, Gluto falling way behind in last. Princess Tiny Feet, Tiny Timber, Huey Lewis, and Clothesline all second to last, I think. I don't think there's anybody with just 2 wins. No. Okay. There we go. Let's continue on in the tournaments. Next match, round 9. 1 versus 6. Huey Lewis versus Shockwave. Alright. Ultimate is the best name. I mean, sure. I mean, there's some awesome names in here. Huey Lewis, Princess Tiny Feet. Pistacia, which I can never pronounce properly. Alright. Round 9 is underway. So you ever want to save your teeth from acid erosion from soda pops? Be sure to drink water as you're drinking your soda. Have a bottle of water with you. Is each tournament vastly different, or is there a general idea for the rules and procedures you'd really like to enter? Stardust does have a guideline for entering tournaments, but for the most part, it's up to the tournament organizer to design the tournament, invite people to join it, and then set up the rules and whatnot. So I guess to answer your question, most tournaments are vastly different from each other. We did start out with just stat caps, where your monster couldn't have a total stat cap over a certain amount, a certain number. This one is actually one of the biggest exceptions. This one was completely anything goes. A couple of heavy hits starting off this match here. Shockwave down less than at almost exactly 2/3, whereas Huey Lewis is closer to half his health. Huey Lewis is going to have to land something in order to make up this. Immediate drills to the face. Yeah. Laser cutter misses. But definitely check out the tournament information. The pinned messages on tournament information is where you want to go, because that has all of the upcoming tournaments. Spin kick misses at 72%. That's huge for Huey Lewis. He gets a heavy chop in, taking the lead. Shockwave also angry now, which is going to make it even easier to chop that bunny. 1-2 punch lands, but that is not enough damage. Was that Fury? Did that happen? Fury? Whatever that was at the last second doesn't matter. Huey Lewis gets the win. And he needs just one more to pull ahead. Actually, to tie Shockwave. Let's do it. What did he miss? We actually just came back from break, and I was describing to Grim that tournaments are usually vastly different from each other. When they first started out, everybody had the same kind of idea. You know, here's the stat cap, and just get your submission in before a certain amount of time, and you're good. Huey Lewis falling behind again, but he's angry. He's getting that guts up. Evan Pierce again drills that rabbit right in the face and pulls ahead just by 30 HP. 29 to be exact. However, Dragon Kick crits 450 damage. That is huge. Hammerfall, though, misses. That would have possibly tied things up. Yeah, these are two heavy hitters. You know what? This is answering the debate earlier in chat about which is better, Hair or Henger. And right now, it is looking very even between these two as we go into the third match to end the tiebreaker. Making sure everything is 999 for all stat monsters. Yeah, no. I believe most of the entries for this tournament, people just hacked it in, which is completely fine. That was part of the rules. But for other tournaments, you're probably going to be required to raise a monster to have high stats. Which, actually, if you know a little bit about the game, for skill and power and intelligence, you only need 950. You don't need it to be completely 999. 950 will do, which is still pretty high for some people. But back to the match here. Huey Lewis falling behind again seems to be the running theme of these two. Huey Lewis falls behind a little bit and then comes in with a heavy hit to even things up. However, a high kick lands. That crits for 280 damage, gets Huey Lewis mad. He goes to kick the bunny, misses it. Goes for the Heaven Pierce, does land that crits, but time is up. That crit needed to be better. It needed to be a heavier hit. But Shockwave managing to get that match. Staying ahead of Huey Lewis on the grid here. Right there. And right. Okay. Yeah, 4,200 is okay. The only thing is, you have to optimize your stats. I cannot stress enough how important it is that you optimize the stats of your monster, because, I mean, just take a look at any tournament where there was a monster that wasn't... take a look at a tournament where there's a monster with average stats across the board versus a monster with high speed, high skill, and high damaging stats. So high power, high intelligence. And you'll see those monsters that are optimized are always going to pull ahead. So that's one of the reasons why I don't so much like stack caps in that sense. $3,200 even? Have you not? Have you ever raised a stat to around 900? Because if you raised, even if you can raise 2 stats to 900 or so, then you're pretty close already. I mean, best advice, if you want a powerful monster, you can start with a monster that has over 3,200 stat total. If you learn a little bit about the combination process, you can start off with a monster that has over 700 in every stat. So, of course, it takes a while because you have to have, you know, really high stat adult monsters. Other stats don't get touched by the time they get to about 2 to 3 and they're old. Oh, okay. Yeah. Are you playing on emulator? Because I would highly recommend downloading the advanced viewer from the Monster Rancher Discord. That is such a useful tool because it shows you stress and fatigue. It shows you what drills your monster would like to do that week. It shows you everything, like your monster's remaining lifespan, what the life index number is, if it likes tablets and stuff. You have a disc copy as well? Yeah. That's the way to do it, man. I'm right there with you. Have a disc copy, have an emulator. Love it. Also, yeah, 1 attack landed. It was bang. And that was enough. That was enough. Alright. Princess Tiny Feet's taking the first. 15 years? Man! Flail, misses. I wish I could say I had my copy for 15 years, but I scratched my disc too much. Wow, 657 damage. Gil has some work to do to get back into this one. If you can't complete the game in under 90 minutes, you're pathetic. Pathetic. No idea how old they are. Well, at least 20 years. Or at most 20 years. Or so. And there we are, a perfect match. Princess Tiny Feet using lifesteal at the last second to suck the swimmer dry. Don't take that out of context. Alright. Yeah, I could do that. Alright. Oh, but then I gotta... Oh. Well, whatever. Let's see. Princess Tiny Feet. 1 against Gil. There it is. Yeah, that's a little more. Or just do this. There it is. Princess Tiny Feet joining the 4-win crew. Actually, is Al still in the chat? No, Al left. He actually left. You guys were bugging him so much with the daily reminders that he buggered off. Poor guy. He tries to do this thing for free for the community. And everybody pesters him. I mean, it's fun ribbing, but at the same time, I'm also quite the procrastinator. So I can totally understand somebody who you put a lot of work and effort into something, and then you take a little bit of a break, and then people are like, well, where'd you go? Why aren't you doing this anymore? Release some more stuff. What are you doing? Okay, so Grim, Hardmode is a mod for Monster Rancher. Somebody took the emulator and they made monsters more difficult. They fixed some bugs. They balanced monsters a bit more, and just a lot of stuff like that. And it's more of a challenge, and I don't know, it feels, what's the best way to describe hard mode? It feels like if you've played the game for 20 years and you love it, but you think it's too easy, or you just have a problem with some of these things, like some moves being god awful, and some moves being too strong, and some monsters being clearly better than others, then this fixes a lot of those issues. And yeah, it probably was really difficult to mod everything. And he's doing this absolutely for free. It's a fan project. He just did it because he didn't really, he found the game was too easy, so he started making it a bit harder. And then people started hearing about it and started catching on, and now we're actually hosting tournaments with Hardmode. So yeah, Stardust, have fun on the Goodwill run. Have fun playing GTA Online. If you do come back, we'll probably still be streaming, because this is taking a while. But Seaward winning there. And we're going into the next match. The second of the best of 3. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Monster Rancher 2 is arguably one of the hardest in the series. But yeah, once you figure out all the ins and outs of the game, once you know how to have a monster live long, then it becomes easy. Too easy sometimes. See, we're missing that violent shell. Yeah, dozens of ways to beat MR2 if you just know what the values are. Yeah, I've heard stories of Monster Rancher 1. I haven't played it myself, but the fact that you can just infinitely give your monster items just seems way too broken to me. But Clothesline having to do something here to try to catch up. Soundwave X landing. Oh, that's going to take away some guts for Clothesline, and that's going to seal the deal for C-Word. Seal the deal for C-Word. That's tough to say. All right. No, that's not going to work. There we go. Put that on Clothesline and hang that on the Clothesline to dry. C-Word takes a victory there. On to the next match, 9 versus 3. Justicia versus Famine. We'll see if this knight can stand up to this dragon. It's a Dracolich. All right. Let's see if the Dragon Slayer is all that he is cracked up to be. I don't know if he is supposed to be a Dragon Slayer or not, but we'll see if he is. Famine versus Justicia. Famine, of course, sitting at 3rd place in the tournament. It's tough to say because C-Word and Ultimate are tied. And they're probably going to remain tied until the end of the tournament. Famine getting angry and then getting angry again as Justicia goes for the home run and knocks it out of the park. Famine less than half of his health remaining. And these basic attacks really whittling him down. Famine. What is he going to do? He's going to get hit by Rolling Slash is what he's going to do. 271 damage. Famine. I don't know if he can come back from this. Does any move deal enough damage to a max stat monster to come back from this? I'm going to tell you right now, that slash combo, as the timer hits 0, is just going to answer that question for me. Zen, thanks for stopping by. And we hope to see you again real soon. In fact, if you come back later, we're probably still going to be here. Justicia is taking the lead. 1-0 in the best of 3. Inferno to start things off. That is a great way to start off for Famine. Here we go, Justicia. Getting hit by a Dragon Punch. I figured that he'd be using an attack of his own, but no, he's saving up his guts here. What is he going to use it for? There, 1 home run. And a push. Followed by Wind God Sword. That move is devastating because of how accurate it can be. Now, Famine, getting angry, goes for a wing attack. That is an accurate move. It hits, but they are 2 health apart. Oh no, Famine has to do something right now if he wants to win. Does not. Look at that. 5-4.3 to 5-4.1. 2 health apart. Wow. That is the closest we have had so far. I know we said earlier it doesn't get closer than that. Well, there it is. You won't see matches get closer than that. Justicia breaking Famine's winning streak here. At least I think he was on a winning streak, right? And there we go. Second monster to get 5 wins. Or no, sorry, Shockwave also. Shockwave now also tied for third. Imagine if wins were also based on guts used and such. I mean, that's how they determine ties, but thankfully they don't determine wins with that. Oh well. And then, of course, we've only ever seen one true tie in our, geez, like year and a half of hosting tournaments on the Monster Rancher Discord. Oh, man. I've seen matches closer to that. I don't want to be reminded of them. Okay. We won't mention them. But those, that one tie, man, can't believe it. I want to have a tie in my tournament one time. That'd be really cool. Like a pure tie. I mean, we've had the Pacifist Pixie win a match, and that was exciting. A Pixie with only... Oh, okay. Fire Juggler just roasted this whale. But the Pacifist Pixie ended up winning. Only having Refreshment and Kiss. And this was when Kiss wasn't dealing any damage. Fire Juggler misses. Tim is Japanese. Confirmed whale abuse. Oh, man. That freaking South Park episode, though. Still haven't seen Raki combo hits yet. Body press misses. 9 damage. Misses again. 155 damage. Fire Spike at the weird angle lands its minus 44 guts and enough damage that this is in the bag for Tiny Tim. He might be able to scrounge up enough guts for another move, but Gluto, on the other hand, is just going to have to sit back and watch what happens. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Tiny Tim takes that. 2-0. It's good. You actually need some wins here, Tiny Tim. Speaking as the one who raised you. Oh wait, that's an X. Huh. There it is. Okay. Next match. Second to last of round 9, 11 versus 14. Sakamoto versus Ultimate. Let's get this going. Oop. No, don't change the control. Yeah, this isn't stop hitting yourself, right? Right? Here we go. Sakamoto and Ultimate. Okay, here we go. So we got the heavy-hitting Sakamoto versus the laser beam shooting Ultimate. You know, I just love that this gimmick works for Ultimate here. Is it just because these laser beams do so much withering? Or is it because Ultimate has such a fast guts rate? Or is it both? It's probably a combination of both, really. Thunderbolt misses again. Ultimate. I-beam. I-beam. I was hoping for a third I-beam, but okay. Maximal beam instead. That one misses though. Alright. What is Sakamoto going to do? And can he come back from this? He has enough guts to attack. I think any of his moves, if they land, could potentially even this up. But Ultimate uses the last second to attack with one more I-Beam. 3 I-Beams is all it takes, guys. Electric type versus flying type? Well, if Ultimate wasn't winning, that might be the case. Due to effectiveness. Sakamoto lands the Thunderbolts. 373 damage. Frantic Beam lands. Making Sakamoto angry. Gonna be easier to hit him now. Look at that. 86% on the I-Beam. And anger has worn off. Frantic Beam again. Minus 21 guts this time. Still withering away Sakamoto. And Ultimate now has the lead. I-Beam misses though. Oh. Are we going to see Legend Pulse? We will! 130 damage to himself. And he misses. And that is it. Oh, yeah. Ultimate must be ground flying for this to not be working out in effectiveness. Sakamoto losing 0-2. Let's put that up on the grid. Right there. Oh. I was kind of hoping for an X that was closer to where I wanted to be, but nope. Nope. Sakamoto losing to Ultimate, and we go into our last match of the 9th round. 12 versus 13. Chi and Dodge! I wonder if there's any tournaments where for Pokemon. Are there any Pokemon tournaments where you can cheat a Pokemon in? Or do you have to catch it? Or is there some like fan tournaments like we have where you could just you can have the tournament organizer set up whatever they want? Curious. I don't think Pokemon Showdown. Oh yeah, isn't that the browser game where you can pretty much just get any team you want, or you can like randomize them to different levels? To different extents, I mean. Which Digimon had a big competitive scene? Well, maybe they do. I mean, is there... There's got to be a Digimon community somewhere where they're still playing, where they're still enjoying the game. And playing, whether it's cards or video games or even just talking about the show. Speaking of talking about things, Chi is taking a demanding lead here. Dodge not going to be able to come back from this one, even with the knockoff, but that special attack, that's really good. Chi winning with 69.8% health remaining. Nice. Alright, here we go. Dodge. Gonna have to do something. Sound Wave, not a bad start. Whittling away Chi's health a little bit. But Chi does more damage with his basic moves here. That Dive Assault critting for an even 300 damage. Digicord. I mean, yeah, they should call it Digicord. That does sound pretty cool. However, Dodge taking a lead, I believe, just by a little bit. Oh, there it is. Charge securing Dodge's lead. And now Chi is going to have to do something in order to get back into this. Charge misses. Chi has the guts, but he's in the wrong slot. He can't come back. 60. Dodge winning with 69.9%. Nice. How is it the Chi won with 69.8 and then Dodge wins with 69.9? Like, how does this happen? Digimon World 2 has a versus mode, but you don't think there's CPU versus CPU? No, but there is net play options. An exact third of Dodge's health is gone. After that, Flying Press flattens the wall to the ground. Chi acting like Mr. Gorbachev, bringing down this wall. Knockopolis deals a fair amount of damage to Chi. However, Chi is the fastest beetle alive. Oh, it's not the fastest beetle alive anymore. Guys, it's over for Chi. There's no possible way he can come back from this. Screech. Chi gonna need a huge attack. Something more than a crit flying press, I think. Goes for a horn strike, lands it. Doesn't have the moves to pull ahead of Dodge in this matchup. Dodge winning the best of 3. All right. That there. Put that there, and we're into round 10. Jeez, almost done. 4 more rounds to go. Oh. Yeah, I keep adding more letters into Knockopolis, don't I? I don't know why I keep saying Knockopolis. It's because of Metalocalypse, I bet. There's too many syllables in that word that I'm so used to saying that I try to put it into this automatically. It's kind of dumb. Alright. On to the next match. First one of round 10. 5 versus 1. Gil versus Huey Lewis. Both of these monsters struggling a little bit in this tournament here. So we'll see how well they fare. As soon as I switch over to the emulator window. There. Alright, so as of right now, Huey Lewis is behind Gil. But if he wins this, he'll be tied with him. And as much as I love Gil and I love the concept of Gil, I don't know. I don't want to say any predictions because they usually come wrong, or they usually do not come true. So I'm just gonna hang my hat and wait and see who wins this one. Gil building up guts. Yeah, commentator's curse. Say nothing, and then nobody can accuse you of anything later. Flail misses, laser sword misses. Gil still has more guts. Gonna go for a diving press now. Manages to flatten not only Huey Lewis, but also his little robot friend up above him. It's kind of interesting. I never really noticed that before. The fact that that thing gets squished as well. I mean, I guess it is part of the character model, so Alright, Sledgefall missing. Huey Lewis has to land something here at the last second. Building up guts for it, and goes for another Sledgefall. Lands it this time! And that crits, dealing just enough damage. Well, more than enough damage to pull ahead in this best of 3 series. Starting things off right, as they say. Rematch? Yes. Huey Lewis and Gil, Stardust and Cronius Nightmare going head to head with their monsters. Gil misses the diving press. Still has a lot of guts though, because he only has the 2 moves. He only has the 2 moves in the 1 slots. If he's not standing in that slot, he can't use his moves, he can't use his guts. Huey Lewis does get flattened though, just over 200 damage. Drill shot lands. 237 damage. Pretty good. Good enough to gain the lead, at least. Gil, gonna have to use another move in order to win here. Heavy chop lands. Makes Gil angry, which gives Huey Lewis the percentage he needs to land that hammerfall. Will Gil use a move? No. Huey Lewis sweeps Gil. And Gil is left in the deep end, while Huey Lewis ties that up on the grid. At least I think it's tied up now, right? Yeah, it's 4 apiece. 4 wins and 6 losses each. Yeah. There we go. Next match, 6 versus 4. We have Shockwave and C-Word. I suppose I should probably switch that before I forget. It is getting pretty late into the stream here. We've been live for just over 6 hours. Yeah. That is a long time to stream. Absolutely is. Even if you're not even if you are used to streaming, like even if you're a full-time streamer, 6 hours? Like, dude, that's a long time, man. Electric Stab. Withering Shockwave, and also taking away just a shy bit over 200 damage. Soundwave X lands. Again, minus 25 guts and a little bit of damage. About 130 there. Shockwave building up guts now. Goes for bang, 64% lands, 324 damage. Not enough to pull ahead into the lead here. Knights in Ink, the Withering tech that has the really strange animation, procs Shockwave's anger. Shockwave going with his anger management therapy lessons though. Quick to calm down and then back to anger again. He's forgotten his lessons. What is he going to go with here? Nothing. He used 1 move. Because of C-Word's Withering, he was only able to use 1 move. Unbelievable. And while I mark this down as C-Word's victory there, we get into the second match. Numbing Stab lands. 128 damage. Not a whole lot. Big Bang lands. 427 damage. That is a lot, especially when you have max stat monsters. That's almost half of C-Word's health gone in just 1 attack. Electric Stab misses. C-Word gonna have to hit something pretty hard here in order to catch up. 1-2 punch. Whittles C-Word down below half of his total health. Numbing Stab does land 132 damage. Still needs some more spice in those attacks. Shockwave, anger again. Goes with the angry Kung Fu Fist, but misses. Still has a lot of guts, though, so follows up with a high kick. Misses that one, though, too. Seaward now stockpiling his guts. He's up to 99. Goes for a 99 Knights in Ink. That does hardly any damage. Shockwave not even down below 2/3 of his health, whereas Seaward is down below half. We are going to 3. Will Shockwave be able to end Seaward's streak here? We'll see. Seaward only has 1 loss so far. That's to Ultimate. A couple of moves missing from both combatants, but Seaward pulling ahead in the Guts regen department. Knights in Ink gonna miss. And another Knights in Ink gonna miss as well. Flipping 2 heads on that coin toss. Seaward missed 2 in a row. However, lands the Violent Shell. 44% to land. Takes away just over 200 health. Shockwave goes for a high kick. That crits and puts Shockwave back in the lead. Both combatants building up guts now. Seaward gonna have the first opportunity to attack. Shockwave not far behind. If this lands, that could have been it. Shockwave now in position to use a move. Uses Kung Fu Fist. That is going to clench a victory. Cinch a victory. That is going to secure a victory for Shockwave in the best of 3. Seaward now with 2 losses instead of just 1. Interesting development. Somebody finally taking Seaward down a notch, down a peg on this ladder of victories here. Somebody aside from the laser beam shooting Duckin, of course. Alright. So now Ultimate has an opportunity on this round to be in the first place position. We'll see if that stays true. We'll see if it's able to use its eye beams and eye lasers to stay ahead. But until then, we got some more matches to get to. Princess Tiny Feet versus Famine. Famine suffered a first loss in a while in the last round. We'll see if he continues on a losing streak or if Princess Tiny Feet gets captured by the Bone Dragon. We'll see. Princess and Dragon. Ready, begin. Inferno right off the bat. Minus 39 guts and just over 200 damage. Making Princess Tiny Feet very angry, and who wouldn't be after that? 71 damage and minus 77 guts from that angry kiss. That is going to put her way ahead. And that is going to help as well. Heal Raid, bringing Famine down to almost half his health and withering him even further. This angry dragon is going to be easy to hit now. 67%. Famine is being taken down 1 chunk at a time. Jack has got to be proud of this performance here. Princess Tiny Feet just annihilating Famine. And there it is. Another bang. 40% to hit. It does miss. But Famine uses the win combo at the last second. Only 191 damage. Princess Tiny Feet takes the first of the best of 3. Alright. Inferno right off the bat again, but this time it misses. Princess Tiny Feet not angry. Guts not going out of control. However, does crit with a Giga Ray. Famine. 1/3 of his health is now gone. Another Giga Ray. This one misses though. Famine. Doing the whole fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, Gambit. Building up guts now. It's his tiny feet. Does land a bolt. Takes away a little bit of guts and deals a little bit of damage. Just enough that Famine wasn't able to attack right away. However, he does have over 60 guts now. That's pretty rare for a dragon to have. Lands the wing attack. That is a weak hit move. Not going to do a ton of damage. Princess Tiny Feet going to try to heal that back by stealing Famine's life. However, Famine doesn't have any life. He's a dead dragon. She goes to bang the dead dragon. She misses, but that doesn't matter. 2 in a row for Princess Tiny Feet. It's going to give her an O in the tournament grid. Famine on a little bit of a losing streak here, I believe. What was his last match? Yeah. Yeah, no. That's 2 in a row now for Famine. The losing streak continues. I know, 2 is a streak, right? I think 2 could be considered a streak. Anyways, 8 versus 2. Clothesline versus Tiny Tim. Tiny Bot versus Tiny Doll. Alright. Here we go. Yeah, it is almost poetic that lifesteal doesn't work on the undead dragon. Okay, clothesline. Tiny Timber. Let's go. Let's see here. Who's gonna start things off in this battle of the babies? Fire Spike misses. Clothesline now has a good opportunity to use pretty much any move in its arsenal. Goes for the burst cannon, lands it, crits for 469 damage. Nice. Napalm shot now, 135 damage. Tiny Timber gonna have to do something pretty big here to be able to catch up. Tiny Timber goes for the Fire Spike again. Nails it this time. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but does Withering. Certainly the opposite of what he really needs right now. He needs damage. Fire Spike again. Misses this time. Clothesline getting out of the way of that wisely. And Clothesline cinching the victory with that burst cannon, more or less. Get the next one. Damn it! Screwed it up again. I did it again. Well, we'll re-enter Clothesline because I think JP would rearrange moves to be in a certain order, so that's why we're gonna do this. We're gonna reload him so that his moves reload to where they deserve to be. And here we go. Clothesline. Tiny Timber. 2 max stat monsters, or at least they would be if Clothesline had 999 health. I don't know why he doesn't. That's so weird. Clothesline kicks, misses. And Tiny Timber misses Fire Spike once again. Another kick. Can't kick the baby. There's Racky combo. It misses again. I've not seen Racky combo land in this tournament. Now, I'm a broad believer in RNG as a cruel mistress, but to flip a coin like 10 times in a row and always get heads, something is wrong. Something is wrong with that. Explosion misses, and that might actually seal Tiny Timber's fate here. He does have enough guts to use one more move. What is it going to be? Not Curse Dance, because Curse Dance costs 80 guts in the hard mode version. And Tiny Timber, again, uses Explosion and essentially loses the match of his own volition. He caused himself to lose. Alright. Mark these down. Clothesline with a victory. Now tied with Tiny Timber. Tied with Tiny Timber. Tied with Tiny Timber. It's an interesting, fun way to say things. Next match, 9 versus 14. Ultimates versus Justicia. Justicia. Maybe it does need a little phlegm in there. I don't know. Justicia. Nope. But I've also heard that you could pronounce it Justicia. Oops. My inputs seem to be a little laggy at the moment. I keep making more and more mistakes, and I'm not sure if that's because I'm tired because I've been streaming for almost 7 hours, or if it is actually just starting to lag a little bit. My cat gets a great view of playing Skyrim while he's sitting right in front of the TV. That's bad for its eyes, don't you know? That's what my parents always told me about playing video games right in front of the TV. Frantic Beam lands. And Rolling Slash misses. Of course, just take a page from Ultimate's book, you could get laser eye surgery and potentially fix your eyes. Frantic Beam landing again. The ultimate weapon, showing how ultimate it really is. Stream not sponsored. Frantic Beam landing again. Justicia not getting enough guts to be able to use a move, and not being able to do any damage because he can't use a move. Although Hurry has now activated, we'll see if he does something here. Home run does land. It crits 225 damage, but that's not enough. Ultimate takes this one very single-handedly with that Frantic Beam. As we go into the second. Gotta do best of 3. As much as I just want to be done with streaming and go play some other games, or actually I've been playing Gran Turismo 4 again. I heard Lex has been trying out the B-spec only speedrun, and that kind of got me thinking, no, maybe I should play that game again, because I really do love racing games. And man, oh man, it is a gong show. Like, why even bother racing in A-spec when you could just get a very powerful car and then race in B-spec? Like, that's all you have to do. Should be practicing XCOM, but you're tired and need a day off. Yeah. Is Gran Turismo Sport good? I haven't played Gran Turismo Sports. I only played Gran Turismo 3 and Gran Turismo 4. It's the only Gran Turismo games I'm privy to. And it's fun. I like it's alright. House of the Dead co-op at ESA. Interesting. With a guy who mostly speedruns racing games. So, it's a bit sparse on offline features. I don't know if I'd enjoy that then. I do, I don't know, I hate that I like it, but the B-spec mode, the manager mode, for, Gran Turismo 4, it's like, it saves so much time. Also, I need to go over to the grid and mark that as a win for Ultimate before I forget. Here we go. Let's go do this. Ultimates 1 against Justicia. And Justicia is number 9. Lost there. Okay. Oh boy, we're so close to being done the round robin tournament. I can't wait. Prove my worth by doing House of the Dead 1, 2, and 4. 1 player, 2 controllers last April. Wow. Okay. Let's go back to this. Yeah, never broken and never working are 2 completely different things. Rolling press, landing after Soundwave missed. And of course, Dodge gets angry about that. So his guts rate is going through the roof. However, making him easier to hit, but that rolling press still misses. Dodge uses 2 knocks and 1 hit KOs Gluto. However, he gets back up. This could be the comeback. This could be the comeback of the century. Nope, Screech. He yelled at the whale, and it died. Well. I mean, I can't... That might be a new sentence, actually. He yelled at the whale, and it died. Probably not. Knowing the vast expanse of human history and how weird things can get on the internet. Wow, Dodge just really whittled away Gluto here. A couple screeches and a charge, and that's it. Gluto, not having any defense to speak of, isn't actually able to stand up against the wall. And that brings us to 11 versus 12. Sakamoto and Chi. Stop. I'm going too fast. Going too fast for the game to keep up to me. And before we get started, just make sure that we mark that Gluto lost to Dodge. Maybe that's how I should say his name. I know it's all caps, but it's just a lot of O's and E's. So maybe it's Dodge. Like a slow-mo... Somebody yelling in slow motion. Or barking. Yeah, it sounds more like woof. Actually, hang on. Is that the same sound effect as Baku's roar? Or barking? It might be. We might have to test that out. We'll bring Bernard out from last year's freezer. Let's put him against... No, it's not... Okay. Well, now all I can hear... Dodge. Chi missing that flying press. Sakamoto pulling ahead here. That lightning right off the bat. Really putting him ahead. Spiral dive misses. I don't think we might not have seen Spiral dive land this tournament. Thunderbolts. That also misses though. Chi has the guts advantage. Has the guts. Goes for Spiral Dive. Misses again. Sakamoto now in the driver's seats. Goes for Lightning. Wisely going for Lightning instead of Legend Pulse. Because if he had missed that one, that could have cost him the match. And I'll mark that down. Sakamoto. And I kind of want to see what this... Oh. It's Doge. Thunderbolt lands 467 damage. Chi now has a lot of work to do to catch up here. Maybe I should back up a little bit. Sakamoto building up guts. What move is he going to go for? Looks like he was kind of running towards the Legend Pulse, but wisely, again, going for Lightning instead. And wins that one 2-0. Here we go. Okay. That does it for round 10. Let's see here. Yeah, let's do another round. We only got 3 rounds to go, but I've been drinking so much water that I really need to use the washroom once again. So I think we're gonna do round 11, and then we're gonna take another break. So we'll do one more round here, and then everybody can run, get some drinks, go to the washroom, whatever. But let's be quick about this, shall we? 1 versus 4. That is Huey Lewis versus C-Word. There we go. Alright. 2 max stat monsters, 2 Metal Nurse subbreeds, 1 with a huge winning streak that was just recently ended, and the other looking to redeem itself in the eyes of the Hanger Daddy. Huey Lewis starts off with drill shots. Or drill shot, rather. Managing to start off well here. Night and Ink, however, landing, causing Huey Lewis to lose a lot of the guts it had saved up. Now Soundwave X critting, and again, more guts gone for Huey Lewis. Getting angry, guts building up, but C-Word can easily hit an angry robot, or can he? He cannot! Sledgefall misses. These coin flips not going in Huey Lewis's favor. C-Word, however, crits with the electric stab. Huey Lewis, will he gain enough guts to be able to use another move? It looks like it's gonna be close. Drill shot lands, but that's not enough to secure a victory for Huey Lewis here to catch up to one of the dominating monsters in the tournament. Battle of the Shinies. Yeah, that's pretty much. Heaven Pierce brings down C-Word, a third of its health. Violent Shell misses. Like the sound effect? Yeah. It would be nice if there were those little tiny touches that changed things, right? Not just the models, but also the moves for each monster would change just a little bit. But, you know, for what we got, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty content. Night and Ink right into Soundwave. Back into Night and Ink. This is seems to be a combo that's been going on here in this match. Night and Ink again. That lands and causes Huey Lewis to lose the guts he had. Oh my... What? C-Word committed foolery, and Huey Lewis took advantage of that situation and used a laser cutter well below the guts threshold. That's what happens if a monster commits foolery. Its opponent, if it's an AI, if it can, will use a move below the threshold of 45 guts. You don't see that too often, and it worked in Huey Lewis's favor. As we go into 3. Oh my. Oh, I missed the... Oh, 69. Nice. Heaven Pierce, right off the bat, lands, crits, 330. Seaward is down nearly a third of its health. Night and Ink lands. This Night and Ink strategy is not working too well for Seaward. It's going to have to try to do something else here. Numbing Stab can work, but Huey Lewis still in the lead. Seaward has the guts. Goes for it. Night and Ink. Minus 30 guts. This time Huey Lewis is angry. Going to be easier to hit now, too. What is Seaward going to do with that situation? Goes for a Numbing Stab. Lands. Doesn't crit, but does give him the lead. Huey Lewis, however, does have enough guts to kick Seaward in the face, regaining the lead. Numbing Stab. This is going back and forth. Opponents just whittling each other away slowly. Huey Lewis angry now. Faster guts. Goes for a laser sword. Lands at 502 damage. Seaward, even though he's angry, is not going to build up enough guts. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe Huey Lewis has redeemed himself by knocking down one of the toughest competitors in the tournament. Absolutely nuts. Who would have thought that that one foolery? You might think, oh, foolery, that's that hardly ever happens. It's not going to matter at all in this max stat tournament. And yet, it just gave Huey Lewis the perfect opportunity to use Laser Cutter and to win against one of the top competitors that we have in the tournament here. But enough gushing. We need to continue on because I do need to go to the bathroom. So, 5 versus 3. We got Gil versus Famine. Swimming Cat Doll versus Undead Dragon Bones. I actually, you know, I got a funny story about Dragon Bones. Well, I wouldn't say it's a funny story. I think it's a cool story. I DM for Adventures League every now and then, and I have always wanted to use a Bone Dragon in one of my sessions. Now, it's really hard to squeeze one of those in, because, first of all, there is no Bone Dragon. In the Monster Manual, there's no stats for a Bone Dragon. There's a Dracolich, which is an undead dragon, but it's like a magical sorcerer dragon that dies and then keeps itself alive and all that nonsense. I just wanted somebody raises dragon bones to be an undead, like a skeleton. So I actually go and I homebrew a Bone Dragon. This one manages to land, slam him down, but doesn't do a ton of damage. I thought that was a stronger move. Gil falling behind here, gonna have to use some sort of moves. But yeah, so I homebrewed the Bone Dragon. I pitted against my players, and I nearly killed them all. I made it just a smidge too strong. But they managed to work out how to defeat it, and they did. Flail brings Famine down below half his health. Not a lot of moves can do that to max stat monsters, and Gil takes the first of the best of 3. You want to know how they defeated that Bone Dragon? With the front stroke, baby! The front crawl. Yeah, and the cheer squad is mostly sports-themed monsters. Flail misses. Flying combo also misses. we could see... We haven't seen a match yet where opponents haven't hit each other. But we just might. I think it'd be interesting at least because then it goes to a tie and then... I mean, essentially it's whoever uses the most guts if nobody hits each other. Which, at this rate, I'm going to guess Famine would win in a tie. Only because he keeps using moves in different slots. Oh, and there it is. Inferno lands. Gil gets angry, though, but that's not going to be enough. He does not have enough time. Gil loses the second match of 3 to Famine. And we're going to the tiebreaker. 69.6 life. Nice. It's always the mon with the higher guts rates. Yeah, but that's normally assuming that a monster has moves in all 4 slots. Flail, lands, crits, nearly half of Famine's health gone, not more than half this time. Fire Breath does land, 220 damage, and Gil is down to 0 guts again. However, Dragon Punch misses, so Gil's gonna continue to build up guts and possibly get another attack in. Flying combo misses. Famine has to land something if it wants to win. Gil now has a lot of guts. Goes for another flail. This one misses. This could be Famine's opportunity to attack with something, anything, do something, anything, any move. Tempest at the very last second crits 514 damage. Famine comes back from losing that first match to win it 2-1. Gil lost 2-3. There we go. Okay. Next match. 6 versus 2. Shockwave and Tiny Timber. Yeah, turned the tables quite a bit. That was... The timer was nearly 0. Or at 0 already. When Famine used that move. That was... It doesn't get closer to the end of a match than that. I know I keep saying that. It doesn't get closer than this! And then it continually gets closer, but... You don't see that too often, is what I'm saying. Oh, yeah. Shockwave and Tiny Timber head to head. As we're almost halfway through. Well. There we go. Sorry, had to deal with a bot. Tiny Timber gets kicked in the face. Less than 2/3 of his health remaining. And he's getting angry too. Goes for an angry Raki combo, misses. Yeah, no, we had one yesterday too. I think it's because of the new year. I think maybe some scammers are setting up some new programs for bots. Ooh, Cursed Dance landing at 93%. Crits for 390 damage. That puts Shockwave ahead, or Tiny Timber ahead of Shockwave, rather. However, that's Kung Fu Fist gonna return things in Shockwave's favor. And Tiny Timber gives a final futile bump. Futile bump. As we go into the second of the best of 3. Fire Spike. Again, a weird angle. I don't know what it is about that move. But he likes to, like, sidestep a little bit and then try to get him at an angle. I don't know if approaching at an angle changes things, but Shockwave still has guts. Goes for a bang. 266 damage. Causing Tiny Timber to get angry. Now, there is a pretty quick guts rate. Goes for another Fire Spike. That is an angry Fire Spike. Minus 76 guts. Shockwave. Gonna have to save those guts for a little while here before he can do anything with them. Tiny Timber has a ton of guts. What is he going to do with them? Goes with the Curse Dance. Minus 26 guts and enough damage to probably secure a victory here. Going to 3 between Shockwave and Tiny Timber. You know what's sad too? I really hope that these bots aren't like hijacking normal accounts and then doing sort of stuff like that, because then I'm just banning people's accounts. And granted, they may never stop by my channel, but like, who's to say? Somebody stops by one day and they're like, "What? I'm banned? Why?" Racky combo missing again. I haven't seen that move land this tournament. What an awful move. It's just not landing. Bang, however, does land.
So good.
Ketchup Beard Creative. That is a creative name. How's it going? Thanks for the follow. We are doing a Monster Rancher 2 tournaments right now. Tiny Timber versus Shockwave. Shockwave is a Hera Tiger, and Tiny Timber is a Racky Mock. They're just finishing up their best of 3 fight, and I believe with that, Fire Juggler cinches it not once but twice for Tiny Timber. Bang? Yeah, Bang is a really nice looking move for hares, given the old Hadouken. But this is where the standings are right now. After I move this over. Tiny Timber against Shockwave. Okay. Next match, 7 versus 14. Princess Tiny Feet versus the ultimate weapon, the Watermelon Laser Beam Shooting Duckin. Switch that over. Princess Tiny Feet, of course, based off of Mia from Tekken. And named after a Venture Brothers character, of course. All of the other monsters in the freezer with Princess Tiny Feet, all references to Venture Brothers characters. Whereas, all of these monsters are just down-tempo's monsters, or Tix monsters. But here we go. Ultimate is actually in the lead. Ultimate is actually kind of an ultimate weapon. So, will Princess Tiny Feet be able to defeat one of the most powerful monsters in the tournament? Let's find out. Starting things off, Frantic Beam from Ultimate lands. Crits for 272 damage. Princess Tiny Feet still has guts, though. That guts regen is pretty damn good on this Pixie. In fact, it's even better than Ultimate, it seems. It's either better or about the same. Oh, Racky combo, yeah. I wish it would land. I really wanted to. But Racky combo just does not seem to want to land at all. But hey, Ketchup Beard Creative, there is a Monster Rancher Discord. If you hit !MR Discord, then you can get a link to the Discord. A bunch of us are on there talking to each other about our favorite Monster Rancher memes, favorite everything. Yeah, it is doing all right still. I mean, at lead 5-0 and come back 7-5. Wait, 7-5. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, which monster is that? 7-5. Is there any monster that's 7-5 right now? Is that possible? Ah, yeah. Okay. Well, that's one. Wrong one. Ah. Well, there you go. Princess Tiny Feet tries to show that tiny feet. You may start if there's a community. Oh boy. Let me tell you, there is a community for this. There you go. There's a link. That'll take you right to the server. And there's a ton of channels. There's channels for each individual Monster Rancher game. There's the general channel where they're a bit silly and they have a bunch of memes. But there is the tournament discussion and tournament information channel where you can actually sign up for tournaments like this. So be sure to check it out, and be sure to @ Stardust Wyvern, because he's kind of like the doorman there, and he'll be your guide. But Princess Tiny Feet taking a lead here with that Mega Ray right off the hop. And keeping that lead, will she potentially run out the clock here? She does! Princess Tiny Feet taking the second match of the best of 3. Still have 3 more hours of driving. Oh. Are you like at a gas station or something? I mean, it's awesome that you could just stop while on the road and check it out. Or, you know, if it's a long and boring highway, you could just kind of like... while you're driving. Not that I'm encouraging that. Absolutely not. Do not do any distracted driving, please. It is a very frequent cause of accidents. Frantic Beam landing. Lightning also landing. Princess Tiny Feet securing her lead just a little bit here. But she doesn't have a lot of guts. Ultimates, on the other hand. Oh, Princess Tiny Feet committing foolery. But Ultimate didn't have any moves to take advantage of that. Beam Shower misses. Oh, Princess Tiny Feet seems to be taking a maximal beam at the last second. I didn't want to say anything. I was halfway to saying something, and then I stopped because I didn't want to be like, oh, it's gonna be it! And then something else happened, so that was close. That was amazingly close. Princess Tiny Feet nearly knocking down one of the strongest competitors in the tournaments, or actually, at this point, Ultimate is actually the strongest competitor in the tournament because Seaward has fallen a little bit further behind. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm not much of a perfectionist, but like, it really bugs me when I look at this grid and something isn't exactly where I wanted it to be. But that leads us into the next match. 8 versus 13. We have Dodge and Clothesline. Dodge and Clothesline. Clothesline not doing fantastic in the tournaments. Kind of middle of the road. could definitely use a couple more wins, whereas Dodge, on the other hand, seems to be doing all right. Certainly winning the last few matches at least. Clothesline, the Hanger Monal, Dodge, the Cocooned Monal Worm. Now, funny thing about cocooning is that your monster keeps a lot of the same hidden stats before it cocooned. So, when you cocoon into a Monal Worm, yes, Seaward did lose to Huey. That is, that should be a very proud moment for Stardust. Because not a lot of monsters can say they beat Seaward. In fact, only 3 so far in the tournament, which we'll take a look at as soon as this match wraps up. Dodge taking a dominating lead and has the guts to do pretty much whatever, but decides to lay off for a little bit, as Clothesline didn't have near enough guts to be able to do anything. So quickly looking at this, Seaward has lost to Huey Lewis and Shockwave. And Ultimate, of course. Ultimate being nearly undefeated, except for my monster. Mine is the only one that beat him, and it's not even doing that great. Second match of the series versus Clothesline and Dodge. Soundwave, piercing the ears of everybody watching, much to everybody's dismay. Charge, lands it. Clothesline, not even 100 health down, but still needs to land a move against Dodge. Dodge is named because all of the moves that it has are very accurate. And the Rancher is almost taunting the opponents, telling them to try to dodge this. Or dodge this. Screech lands as well. Clothesline has to do some sort of heavy-hitting move if it wants to crawl back from in this match here. Soundwave again, landing, piercing Clothesline's ears, even though it's a robot and it doesn't have any ears, but it does have very sensitive sensors. And Clothesline not able to get a single move off in this match, in this this fight. Dodge wins it 2-0. There we go. Easy. And easy. All right. Next match, 9 versus 12. Chi and Justicia. Ups. Where's this? There we go. All right. So, I wasn't told, and I don't know, but what language is Justicia? Is that Tagalog? Is that Justicia? I'm guessing Tagalog. I'm not too sure. But some people did come in and very politely inform me how to pronounce it. It could be Justicia or Justicia. But of course, it's a very difficult word to say, so I'm going to screw it up, as I have already a couple of times. Right off the bat, Wind God Sword. This is being played on hard mode, so some of the words, some of the move names have been changed Horn Strike, landing on Justicia. Flying Press, misses though. Very smartly getting out of the way, not wanting to be a flat suit of armor. Home Run is another one of those moves that had its name changed. One of 3 or 4, there was a lot of moves that Durahans have that had their name changed and modified quite a bit. Dive Assault, misses. Chi needs to land something pretty good here if it wants to try to catch up. Flying Press again, this could do it if it crits, but it also has to land. Punch Combo, one of my favorite Durahan moves, because it just throws away the sword and tries to just bare knuckle box it down. However, it didn't matter if that missed or landed. Justicia takes that match in the best of 3 series. Combatants building up guts right off the bat. Justicia goes for a home run but misses. Chi, what is he gonna do? Oh, he's gonna get hit by a Rush Slash, is what he's going to do, and continue to build up his guts. Goes for a Horn Attack, 263 damage on what is essentially another basic tech. I believe it is actually a basic tech. But a flurry of moves, one after another. And Justicia does not like that. He is well behind Chi right now. Needs to go for something big. Slash Combo could have done it. Slash Combo is a fairly strong move. But no. The bug flattens the knights, but it has grits. Justicia not down and out just yet, except actually yes, because the guts does not have enough guts and will not get enough guts to use a move. Chi very close to KOing Justicia, but that was very different from the first fight. Very, very different. Who had the idea to give Durahan a 10-second long grit animation? Don't know, but I'm sure it was the same people who decided to give Zilla a 10-second attack animation with Roll Assault. Justicia, angry now, building up guts. Slash Combo lands this time. Very awesome move to witness. Brings Chi down to half of its health. And surprisingly, not taking away too many guts. Even though that was an angry attack. When your monster is angry, its withering increases. A simple punch. Putting Chi in the lead there. And a simple cut in 2. Putting him into the lead. Horn Strike. These two are going back and forth with the basic techs. She needs to do something and decides not to. Is that a Fire Emblem reference? It might be. I haven't played Fire Emblem, so your guess is as good as mine. And I don't know. I'm a green unit. Maybe. Maybe. Justicia. Hey, wait a second. Yeah, Chi. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. And now 10 versus 11. Gluto versus Sakamoto. Should definitely start doing some wrestling intros. Get some, get Stone Cold Steve Austin's entry music in here. The glass shatter. Get some hard rock in there too. Some generic hard rock though. Just so we don't get flagged by any sort of what do you call it? Copyright laws. Woo boy, 7 hours of streaming. Yay. Sakamoto, right off the bat, lightning doesn't KO Gluto, but doesn't proc power either. If it had, that would have been kind of interesting, but oh well. I need to edit in entrances and then pick entrance themes, yeah. There it is, Thunderbolt. Sakamoto taking an early lead. Gluto, of course, only winning one match against Huey Lewis. However, Huey Lewis managed to win against C-Word, so... I mean, yeah, like... You want a monster that can lose to the worst monster and then win against one of the best monsters. Huey Lewis is like right there on the average line, making up for previous losses with those wins. But speaking of, Gluto doing his best to stay in this tournament, dodging as much as he can of Sakamoto's attacks. Of course, Sakamoto has kind of inaccurate moves. Thunderbolt and Lightning Bolt both being heavy attacks, and as soon as I say that, he lands one of them. Commentators curse. I don't know why I even talk sometimes, honestly. But that's 2 in a row for Sakamoto. And we're going to be taking another quick little break after I adjust the chart here. The charts, the grid, the whatever you want to call it. Little loss there. And Sakamoto won there. Okay. All right. So again, get a drink, go to the washroom, and we will be right back.